Okay, Megovanen everyone, and this is a game that I had sitting uh, in my library for a while now, and I never got around to checking it out. And lately, I've been going back to, play a mixture of things that I've had for a while and just never got around to it. And I really should have. I really wish I'd gotten to these the games that I've had sitting there, long ago. But this was one I remember seeing the trailer for it, you know, way back. Not when it first came out, but it had been out already. But I want to say at least maybe a few years ago, it's been sitting there, and it was the trailer that kind of wanted me to get this game. So, and the trailer I'm talking about is this one. And I saw on the trailer, there was a bunch of quotes, and it was receiving a lot of high praise from, reviewers and everything. And it looked like maybe it won awards. I'm not too sure. And as you can see here, overwhelmingly positive. When I was flipping through this, these graphics look really nice, but then it starts looking cartoony, so I don't know about that, but I like more of the real. And then what is this? But we'll see how this is. And when you see this trailer, it's very cool, and the song for it is outstanding. So I'm going to do my reaction for this, and right afterwards I'm just going to get right into the game, and this would be my first impression for What Remains of Edith Finch. Okay. But I also want to say, even though I have a lot of games in my library just sitting there for years, recently there was also a summer sale on Steam and Green Man Gaming and all that, and there were just only a couple bucks here and there, so I kind of got quite a bunch of them also. But as I said, they were only maybe a few bucks or so. There might have been one of them that was about, at most, maybe between $15-$20. But it all kind of added up. But I figured that you only live once, and you may as well just give it a try. So, okay, let's go check this out. The best game you haven't played. So see, and that is true. I haven't played it, so I'm very curious.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things.
Such a beautiful trailer.
But as it is, I think the best we can do is
I'm
try
gonna
to
keep
open
my
our
mouth
eyes.
shut
If we lived forever,
I just love this.
if we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. That any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. This is where your story begins. Maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
What's this? It just reminds me of the end of Pan's Labyrinth.
But I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Directed by Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro, right? When Princess Ophelia was being crowned princess, she went into that, whatever that was, that fantasy world, and became a princess there. That doesn't sound bad, but that's what this just reminds me of, some sort of coronation. Okay, I'm gonna pause it. and then get right into the game. I already set up the sound and everything, so, and adjusted the graphics. Even though it recommended all ultra, I don't, you know, I just don't want to ruin my PC. It's just it's an OCD thing. I can't explain it. What Remains of Edith Finch? Okay, see now these graphics look pretty good. I mean, they're not like hyper realistic, and you know, I noticed the date of the game came out like, you know, 2017. Okay, I can't move. Yeah, see, these are nice graphics. Play. It's not the WASD controls. Oh, shit. What caused that?
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Wow. See? And, you know, these graphics are really nice, you know. As I said, not really hyper-realistic, but they're real enough. And for 2017, you know. Okay, I'll let that slide. It's running at like 73 degrees, 72. So it's just like
Someone
one
had
of
put up a
those
chain link
walking
fence,
simulator.
but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
See, it doesn't give me... Oh, why didn't I just go into the controls? What? So can I hop it? Okay, that is not how to run. See, how did he expect anyone to just... I mean, I know it's probably second nature, is it? Or is it first nature to... Where it's... Maybe it's like first nature, though, when it's like instinct. To just, you know, nowadays to use the WASD, W-A-S-D, to control. But, I mean, they really...
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
I love it. Holy God, this game is... There's another one I have, you know, interest in. And it is the same company, which I can't remember. Yeah, but it was a company that is a company that put out Witchfire, and it's called and it, you know, when I saw that trailer as well back some years back, the vanishing of Ethan Carter, it just kind of, you know, these two just seem like they're very similar. Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and this one. Okay, let us look inside here.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Am I supposed to be a kid, or am I a teenager, a woman, or what? How can I take it? Orcas Island Gazette.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Oh, man. Funerals, you know, for a very long time I haven't had to go to any kind of funeral, and then well, the last one was my Ninang Ori. And I'll bring this out right over here. Actually, it's kind of underneath this kind of stuff here, but here. You're able to see that. And, you know, we knew her since I was a baby. And she died from cancer. I have a couple uncles who died from cancer, and these are all somewhat close time frame, within maybe 10 years, I want to say. And yeah, it's not good. But that was just
my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what
like
it unlocked.
late last year. In my what?
Maybe she thought I'd know.
Mother's will. Did it say
Or
my mother's will?
she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
So this is this like some kind of sad game or something, because the Finches. Can I deviate? I can deviate. I want to do that. You know, I try to avoid these kind of sad things, and I'll say that, you know, just recently, you know, when I visited my dad, how can I put this? I want to say maybe about 25 years ago, whenever I would go visit him, or even back then when it was about 25 years ago, I was still, you know, staying there with him and the stepmother, but you know, he
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I have questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
It wasn't all that serious. He liked, you know, we would watch cartoons and stuff, and it was pretty fun, but just now, these past 20 years, you know, he just got more like serious and more talking about death. And just the last time when I visited, well, earlier today, he said that he's just trying to live on a little bit longer.
Have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
And the thing is, my mom is having some issues too. So yeah, it's just all, you know. Do I have a journal? How do I open up that journal that I had? And how do I save the game? You know, even when I hear celebrities, when I learn about their death, because now they're really dropping like flies.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
It's very sad. So this is where I'm meant to go, so I don't want to go that way. I want to go up and check out that other path. See where that leads. But my friend and I, you know, who moved, but you know, this may sound a bit dark, but you know, we always say, and we don't mean it in a joking way, we genuinely think this. We just say, you know, well, you know, like James Earl Jones died and this celebrity died.
In a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
And we'll just kind of say, yeah, lucky, you know, we say lucky, you know, they're in a better place, or, you know, their suffering is over, things like that. But it also makes me very sad to hear, even when it's a celebrity who dies, especially, you know, actors that I'm quite fond of and been watching their films for years. Okay, I came through here, so I went down here. Okay, so I'm going to go here. What in the... Why is this game running at 81, 82 degrees? It's... Is it because it's running at this resolution? That's okay. And I especially hate it when there's no way to limit the FPS. You know, I don't see what the FPS is, but I must assume it's my monitor refresh rate at like 144, 143. I would limit that to 60, you know, because that also is a culprit to the high temps of the computer. But it's okay. I won't be doing this for too long, and maybe the next time, again, I should know by now that a lot of these games nowadays are, it looks like it leads all to the same place, but they're just perpetually saving. I really like that though. That's really cool. You know, it gives like 2 routes to go, but there are 2 different ways that you can go. Wow, even for 2017, they really managed extremely pretty graphics. I like looking at all these tiny little details. You know, things from just this plastic chair tipped over and everything. You know, things that people just kind of pass by, but Edith Finch missing. Okay, I still don't know. I'm alone, so I can't really be a little girl. So I guess I'm a teenager, a teenage chick, and I can't zoom out, so I can't see what I look like, what she looks like, or, you know, I'm in her shoes, so. Oh, shadow casting, I do like that. Oh, it's one of those too where I can see myself. The I Am Jesus Christ game is like that.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
I sound like much younger than that, but I'm gonna try to stay on track with this game now. I'm sorry for just kind of talking about, you know, some real life stuff. It just kind of brought up some stuff, you know, when I came across that in the game. They were talking about it, so. And now it's at 73, 72 degrees, the temp. So really, and now it's going up to 79. It really, you know, because it's, you know, the draw distance, it's really far. I understand that, you know, the shadows, so there's more detail. So that's why the temp would go up higher.
I heard something moving around in the garage.
Can I climb up this? Okay. This is really something. Even just this alone, the graphics, what an incredible feat to, you know, create a game like this. If in fact it's a game, but like I said, I think it is, but I saw some weird transitions in that trailer, and looked like a comic book, and just weird, you know, kind of art, like a painting. So I don't know, you know, maybe this is also like an Alice in Wonderland. It's dark and gloomy, but I love it. You know, and the truck, yeah, there it is. It's just right. I keep hitting the shift to run, but I don't run. That's really great. This is another one of those games where, you know, every shot is like a painting. It could be a painting. Much like Oblivion Remastered. I don't care what anyone says, it's a great game. And, you know, with both those patches, 1.1 and now 1.2, which did, you know, first part of it was the bug fixes, it addresses that, and now it's like the performance and all of that, and even more bug fixes. It's perfect.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
That's really great. Can I go back in there? Again, you know, I'm trying to hit this as if it's going to make me run. None of the other keys do anything, so... Oh, I have to go through the doggy entrance. Look at this, like anyone...
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Yeah. That is what it's called.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
This is a security hazard. You see that? Why do people have those? Soundtrack is incredible. So I'm really thinking that it might be like an Alice in Wonderland type thing, but at the same time just a walking simulator. Just walking around and just doing this and covering bits and pieces of a mystery and things like that. I love it. You're not really playing the game, but you're just experiencing. You're experiencing.
I felt like
the game,
I was home.
Really? This is a very nice home, yeah. It's just, it doesn't... It's very, not ancient, just, I don't know what the word is, just like a period piece home, you know? I mean, it's cluttered, yes, but like if this was in real life and your home was cluttered like this, and it kind of has gotten that way for me, but it would be messy, you know. And it is. It's not quite this bad, but it's, you know, could be better. But yeah, it's considered messy, but because it is a game, it looks beautiful to me. Gorgeous. See a modern day fridge, microwave, but yet you have these new appliances here housed in an olden times home, you know. I was hearing footsteps. I'm wondering, was it coming from in this game or was it the people above me, I wonder.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
I hope I'm not breaking immersion for you guys. I'm truly sorry. I'm talking too freaking much. I'll try to, you know, I tend to do that, you know, when there are sad things, you know, I try to avoid those kind of things and just try to change the subject, you know. I avoid those kind of things. Don't want to think about them. Edith Finch. Okay, so yeah, I thought I heard the year 2010. Memorial service. Edith Finch. What remains of Edith Finch? So I'm gonna guess Edith Finch is the mother. Oh, no. Dawn is Eddie Lewis. So Edith is a little girl. Edie, and then Lewis is the brother. So maybe Dawn is the mother. Look at this. I feel like I'm choked up a bit just because it's so real and detailed, this home. And I could just walk around here and not even continue with this game and have this just be the game. Walking around this home, I absolutely love this. Could use a flashlight though.
Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
I'm just learning, pieces of her life, my life. Either through her talking. Oh, Seattle. Right, that needle. Barbara Finch. And look, you can even see, I thought I saw it, but yeah, see that? With the light, you can see the dust particles flying in the air. Yeah, look at all that. Oh, this game is available on console as well.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
So if you're checking this out too, my dear friend Todd E. Walnuts, maybe you might want to, if you get back to the live streaming, so quick shout out to my dear friend Surviving the Horror, aka Todd. Maybe you might want to, live stream this one. I would absolutely watch you play this and hear your thoughts. That's the thing, when I'm watching people's Let's Plays, I always love hearing the thought process that goes into it as they're playing. Just all natural. I don't like any of this exaggerated shit. People just trying to be funny or goofing off, or fake reaction of being, scared, or all that stuff, dramatical stuff. I just like reality stuff.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
This girl, I guess her name is Edith, right? This Edith, if that is my name, has a way with words, right? There's such imagery with how she phrased things.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Yeah, and that's, I want to say, it seems like these people were maybe a close family, but then again, she said it seems like her mother was the only one that could. And why put the mother in the nursing home? I feel as if family should always just stick together, there's, I think her name was Ashwari, I don't remember her last name, I am so sorry, but Ashwari something. She's Indian. And if you've ever seen an Indian actress, if you've seen the film The Last Legion, I think it came out around 2010, 2011, something like that. It stars Colin Firth as well. But as Ashwari something, and she is Indian, an Indian actress, and she plays an Indian warrior in that game. When one of her interviews, she said that she was living back at home, or living at home, either living home still or moved back there or something like that. And when she was somewhat ridiculed by the interviewer, saying, oh, well, some would say you should get out of the home or something like that and live on with your life or something on your own, she said, well, there are some good things about when you live at home. And, oh yeah, what's that? Well, when you're living at home, you don't have to plan for dinner together. And everyone started clapping. And that is true. You notice when when family drifts apart and you're all living far away, different cities, even different states, countries, that's why they have family reunions, and you have to pool together, but when you're, to meet up again, to reunite. But when you're all close together and you don't drift apart, then you are always, you don't have to plan for dinner together. And everyone clapped. I wish I could duck in this game. I'd like to look lower. You know, but it's okay. Public market. I love looking at these pictures and just looking at the knickknacks and everything, because even just by looking at these things, you know, I'm not a snoop, but you know, when you're at parties and you're at someone's house, you know, there's people standing around everywhere, and the person hosting the party, and you're gonna do it too. So you just kind of look around and look at their china cabinet, and you know, I do this kind of thing, and you get an idea of what the person is like, how they lived, and things like that. You get a lot of information by a person's possessions, and you know, what they own, how they care them, not just how they care themselves, you know, when you meet them and see them and present themselves, and how they talk, but you know, how they're living. Some Chinese food spilled, and wow. Just a lot of cooking stuff, raw fowl, a Viking's belly, Pacific pantry, yeah. So this person must be, someone in there must be something of a foodie, right? A cook, chef.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
See, modern day TV, but there's a mix-in of you know, antiquities and things like that. It could even be retro. Antiques are like, what, 100+ years old. Retro is something made within the last 20 years, maybe even modern, but made to look old. That is retro. Antiques are actual, you know, things that are 100+ years old. Sometimes it can be hard to differentiate and to ascertain
Even the
which it
fireplace
is.
had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
Oh, God, I've gone on for like 37 minutes. I'm so sorry, my friends. I really don't know, you know. These are almost like real photos. And it could very well be it, but maybe not. You know, it's, you know, I don't think they'd really use real people, but I think these are just graphics, and they just look that good. Well, the feast, the hunter's roast. Wait a minute. Raw fowl. These are just, some of these might be labyrinths. Not all. The Book of Sand. Not all are like cookbooks, but this raw fowl. Raw fowl. So some might be repeats. They're just, you know, for atmosphere. But still, it works. It's funny, I mean, sometimes I can be really observant when it comes to things like this, but other times maybe I'm not so much. Like, so much to the point you might think I'm like stupid or retarded or something, but I assure you I'm not. It's just, it really depends on how my day is going, or how I'm feeling, you know, that can dictate that. How much sleep I've gotten. But I think I'm going to end it here, because I better open some things. maybe go to the next door, because maybe then it will autosave.
Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
With the rest of the house, really? Okay, so
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Okay, I really have to initiate the next saving. I don't even recall seeing any kind of thing, icon come up that lets me know that it's saving. So, what's up with that?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
What does that mean?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
I think the footsteps I'm hearing is actually coming from upstairs.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Oh, that is cool. Okay, I really need to initiate the next save point, so
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
What? This house is amazing. I love that. Orange tabby. Orange cat.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
There is a Tom and Jerry episode. Those Tom and Jerry's are those theatrical shorts they had back in the 40s and 50s. They would play before the movies. And one was called Saltwater Tabby, right? That was the name of the episode. Saltwater Tabby, a Tom and Jerry episode.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
So she was also a celebrity. Yeah, that's why, I didn't point anything out, but I noticed that, There's that raw file and various other books that are probably up there in that shelf. From cove to stove, Okay. How am I going to initiate the next save point?
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Gregory.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
And this is just a bathroom. And why is the whole floor with carpet? Like what? It's like a rug, but covering everything. Sven, the grandpa, and Edie.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
I don't know how I'm going to initiate. Wait, is the door open now? Was that always open?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Oh, this is really cool, yeah. I love this.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh, that's just a dumbwaiter, right? What's it doing here?
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
This is... Yeah, this is like one of those...
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
This is not a dumbwaiter, though. I was going to say... A dumbwaiter is kind of like this type of opening, but it's supposed to just be in the kitchen. This is not a dumbwaiter, though, but it's supposed to be in like the kitchen, you know, area, and say the kitchen is upstairs or downstairs, whatever, and you bring the food onto the little, it's like a food elevator, and then you bring it down or up, and you put the dishes back up there and then send it back up, you know, things like, something like that.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Saving. Now it saves. Wow. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I don't like how few and far between these save points are. Now maybe I'm taking freaking forever, but to be quite honest, can you expect any less? I mean, the house is pretty big, and there's so many things to, you know, to approach, and she has commentary on. But I'm loving it so far. Absolutely. So I'm going to end it. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and much love to all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys, and again, I take none of you guys for granted, you know, supporting my channel and all of that. I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you. Yeah. Okay.